So blessings, blessings, namaskar, beautiful friends. So beginning with the feet just a little bit wider than hip width. Spread out your toes and just soften or close your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, just focus on the very tip of your nose. And the reason for that is to take our awareness inwards. We spend so much time in our head, got so many distractions going on around. We want to be really fully present. And today we're going to be focusing on the liver and gallbladder meridians, which according to traditional Chinese medicine are associated with spring. Now, spring, winter is a time for rest, for reflection, for hibernating, basically. It's kind of like quite dense and heavy. It's a time for us to turn inwards. It's a yin energy. Spring is more of a yang energy. Look around at nature, see all the plants and trees start to come to life. So we start to feel our energy rising, our enthusiasm rising. And so spring, according to traditional Chinese medicine, is associated with the wood element, which is our liver, which is on the inside of the thigh, and gallbladder meridian on the outside of the legs. They don't run in a straight line, but just for ease, we'll imagine that inside of the thigh is liver, outside of the thigh is gallbladder. So just softening or closing your eyes and just slightly bend your knees. Feel the weight go down into your feet and really feel the ground beneath you. Even if you're like me and you're upstairs, imagine you're standing with your feet on Mother Earth. You can imagine roots extending from the soles of your feet down through the floor, down through the foundations, down into the soil, connecting you, keeping you grounded, but also you drawing nourishment up through those roots. So just taking this time to check in, simply noticing how you feel. No judgment, no criticism, just simple awareness. Remember our energy and our mood, especially over the last few years, right? It's been like a roller coaster of energy shifts, of mood shifts. It's been mental, to put it bluntly. It's been absolutely hell of a roller coaster ride. So just noticing how you feel this moment. That may change later, that may be different from this morning or yesterday, but just notice without judgment. So it's not like, oh, I feel like this or I feel stressed. If you do feel stressed or whatever, notice there is a little bit of stress moving through me, or a part of me feels stressed, or a part of me feels irritable, or a part of me feels tired. So instead of making it your identity, saying I am XYZ, a part of me feels. And if you feel great, epic. Notice that, own that. Sometimes we feel guilty for feeling good, right? It's like when everyone else is like, oh, I don't feel very well. It's like, well, I actually feel okay, but I didn't say it. It's like, no, if you feel good, freaking own it, okay? But just notice how it feels being in this body, this moment in time. And taking a couple of deep breaths in. Breathe in through the nose. Imagine breathing from roots to crown. Pause at the top of the breath. And sigh it out. Feel your shoulders relax a little bit, feel your weight sink down into your feet. One more like that. Big breath in through the nose. And let it go. And if you haven't already, gently open your eyes. And keeping the feet kind of slightly hip width apart and the knees soft. And inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands down, sinking a little bit deeper into your feet. So inhaling up, gathering chi, gathering energy. Exhaling, bringing it down into your center. Now, one of the things we struggle with nowadays is slowing down. Everything is done at 100 miles an hour. We've got this to do, that to do, blah, 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 blah. It's no wonder we're all kind of chronically stressed and chronically tired. So one of the things we really struggle with is slowing down. So acknowledge if you're finding it a challenge to slow down and just observe. And if you feel like it's tough going slow, go even slower. The other thing I want you to do is to really notice your hands moving through the air, through the space around you. And really notice little pockets of cold, of warm, even a texture to the air, the ether, the energy, the space around you. So you're moving your hands through your electromagnetic field, your aura. And just one more like that, full breath in and out. And just clasping the hands and imagine whirling the hands. It may feel kind of like strange to begin with, giving your hands a bit of a massage, then going the other way. One way often feels nicer than the other. Just warming up into the hands, getting the energy flowing right down to our fingers, and then just flexing and squeezing. So as you flex, stretching out the wrist, just gently squeeze that. The fingers, squeeze the palm of the hand. So get the energy flowing right down into your hands. Then release, shake the hands out. And just making a light fist, just bring your hands to your collarbones and circle. Inhale up, exhale back, down and around. Breathing in and out. Really open and expanding your chest, your heart space. And doing one at a time. So we start to open out the side of the body. So let the rest of the body move as well, so you're not being too rigid. Get a full deep breath in and out. And in and out. And release the hands. Bring the hands slightly behind you. Push the hips forward to the side, back, side and forward. So we're drawing a big circle. You can imagine you've got it like a paintbrush on your tailbone. And you're drawing a big circle, loosening up into those hips. Draw your elbows back slightly. And breathing in, breathing out, around the other way. So we're just freeing up the tension so that the energy can flow with greater ease. Because when we're tight and tense, the energy can't flow, the blood can't flow. Then coming back to center, and then just giving your upper legs a bit of a massage. We are sensual creatures. We have lots of nerve endings on our body, and we respond to massage and to touch. And so often, when I was a bit like it when I first started doing it, it's a bit like, I don't want to touch myself, it's weird. But it's weird that you're feeling weird about touching your own body, your own vessel. And give your knees a nice mini massage, front and back, and some blood energy to the knees, and then circle the knees in and out and away from each other. Yeah, breathing in and out and round the other way. You might have a bit of clicking, clunking, grinding, all that kind of stuff. That's all good. And then raise up to standing. Take the weight onto one foot. Press into the top of that foot and roll that foot around. You can go slower if you need to, just kind of massaging the foot and ankle, waking that up. Around the other way. Some people's toes don't bend, so if that's the case, just maybe circle the foot a little bit. Give the ankle a bit of a jiggle. Maybe press into the top of the foot, stretch the top of the foot out, stretch out the top of the ankle, front of the ankle, then press into the ball of the foot. If it feels okay to do so, a little bit of pressure, give the ankle a little bit of shake, and then circle that. Heel around again, and 4 deep breaths in, and out, round the other way. Our feet do so much, and we tend to not give them the love and attention that they deserve. And then shake out that whole leg, shake it out from your hip all the way down to your toes. And get that foot a bit of a stomp, a lot of stomp. If you've got any kind of anger or whatever, you know, really let it out. It's okay to feel angry, you just don't want to stay there, right? You just want to let it go. And then notice how that leg feels. compared to the other side. Sometimes when I do this kind of thing, one leg suddenly feels longer, or it feels kind of more expansive, lighter. You'll feel a difference in some respect. And then shifting to the other side, again, pressing into the top of the foot, stretch out the top of the foot, and roll that foot around. Remembering one side might feel different to the other. And round the other way. How are your feet feeling? And then pressing into the ball of the foot, spread out the toes. Again, put a little bit of pressure on if it feels okay to do so. And then roll the heel around again. And round the other way. And you feel that kind of tingling sensation as the energy being freed up. Shake up that leg. So when we get tense, everything, we want to let it out, let it out, let it out. Give that foot a bit of a stomp, or a lot of a stomp. And release. We're just going to stretch out the neck. Now imagine doing a circle, that the circle is this way. Normally we kind of like circle around, whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to draw the chin in, we're going to lift it up, then we're going to bring the chin forward and down. So we draw the chin back, up, forward, and around. Keeping the rest of the body nice and still. And just visualize your skull. It's really good for realigning the spine. Visualize your skull and your neck vertebrae. Inhale up and back, exhale forward and around. It might feel strange to start with. Anything we do new for the first time feels kind of weird. So it's all good. We feel quite good on the neck. And now we're just going to reverse the move. So bring the chin forward, up, then draw it in towards you as if you're giving yourself a double chin. Forward, up, and around. So focus on leading with the chin. And so you're moving your skull. So we spend so much time looking down at our phones. And that's one of the reasons so many of us experience back pain nowadays. And then bring the head back and relax. And just notice how you feel just with those few little exercises, getting the energy flowing. From here, taking the feet wide, so we start to get into the liver meridian. It's great if you're feeling like pissed off, stressed out, whatever. Stretching out the liver meridian is great. It's also why like riding a motorbike or riding a horse is good because it activates the meridians on the inside of the thigh. So your legs are pretty much as wide as you can go, and you're just going to shift side to side, and you're going to pause for a second each side. And we're stretching out the inner thighs. Breathing in and out. Really, as you bend one knee, press into the outside edge of the other foot. Again, really stretch around the hips and thighs. Now, unless you do this kind of thing on a regular basis, our movements on a day-to-day are very much linear and very much one, range of movement, which is why people end up needing hip replacements, that kind of thing. Because it's like walking across a bit of grass, the same bit of grass, you're going to wear away the grass. And this is what we do with our knees and our hips. Is we repeat the same movements over and over and over. And so we literally wear a groove into those joints. So it's so good to go outside your typical daily range of movement. So see if you can sink a little bit deeper each time, holding for a second or two. So really getting into those hips. You might even want to bring the fingertip towards the floor. But try not to stick your bum in the air. So we don't want to do that because that's kind of like missing the point. You want to sink deep. So don't kind of like tip forward to touch the floor. Only kind of reach towards the floor, holding for a second. So from the side, and shifting side to side, getting into those hips and inner thighs, into that liver meridian, inhaling up, exhaling across. You don't have to touch the floor. You can keep the hands on the shins. It's all good. And then coming back up. Now bring the feet in a little way, not all the way. So the feet are just outside your shoulders. Now lift the ball of one foot and you're going to turn from the hip just about 45 degrees, so just out to the corner. So not all the way, just out to the corner. But what tends to happen is we take the foot, but we leave the rest. So turning, feel it. Imagine the thigh bone, shin bone, knee turning. Place that foot down, spread out the toes, and imagine you're trying to pull the big toe joint towards your heel. So we're activating the arch of the foot. And we do the same with the other foot. So lift the ball of the foot, turn, feel it rotating. Imagine your thigh bone, your knee, your shin rotating. Again, spread out the toes. So we start to feel a stretch on the inner thighs before we've even done anything else. Press into all four corners of your toes. So we want to make sure the weight goes out rather than the weight going in. So as you come into a squat, if your knees go way past your toes, then you need to go a little bit wider. So ideally, we want kind of knees roughly in line with toes. Now I've got quite deep hip sockets, so I haven't got a massive range of movement that way. So if I was to take my feet too far, then the knees would be in like that, which we don't want. So we want the knees tracking over the toes. What we also don't want to do is kind of like that kind of duck thing that I often see, like that. Want to imagine keeping your spine nice and tall as if the only plane of movement is up and down rather than forward and back. So if that means you don't go down so low, rather than going like that, and that's okay. So you just inhale, come down slowly, still pulling your big toe ball joint towards your heel, and exhaling slowly back up. Keep your eye gaze at a point that's in front of you, and make sure again you're not kind of like doing that. So you're not keeping your eyes on it, but you know, you're sticking the chest forward. So again, don't worry how low you go, just focus on really pressing the knees out, like someone's trying to push your knees in, but you're trying to press back, squeeze your butt. So engaging those inner thighs, working the muscles around your knees, hips. These kind of things are so good for you, even though people hate squats and lunges and that kind of thing, but they are really good for you. And we're going to stay here, we're going to shift side to side. Now I feel I need to take my feet just a little bit wider. So sometimes your body may give you a nudge like that. I'm just going to shift side to side, but notice I'm not coming up. I'm staying on one plane of movement. So you're shifting through like the goddess squat, over into like a side lunge variation. Keep pressing those knees out and keep pulling your big toe ball joint towards your inner heel. So it's like a wide Wu Chi stance in Tai Chi. Inhale across, exhale to the side. Inhale across, exhale to the side. Now I'm going to add an arm. You're going to bring the arm across and you're going to almost take it around the corner. So you're turning slightly, but the legs stay the same. Then to come back, we're going to do the same the other way. Following that hand, wrist soft. So again, you're slightly turning through the upper body, but that knee stays tracking over the toes. So we breathe in and out, and in and out. So again, really slowing it down, which as I said earlier, sometimes is harder than the more kind of challenging, physically challenging exercises. Once you've got the hang of that, you can let your other hand kind of trail as if it's trailing in water. Again, going super slow, following the hand in front of you with your eye gaze. And noticing again your hands moving through the space around you, through the energy field, through your aura, belly button drawn in slightly, loosening up into the hips, just a couple more. So really connecting your body, your breath. And coming back to center. So we'll do a little bit more dynamic move now. So we're going to circle around and up. Exhale, soften. So we've got a yang move, a soft yin mood. So breathing in and out. Again, soften the wrists and the elbows, watching your hands. Big breath in and out and in and out. Just a couple more, again, just to get the energy flowing. And release. Release the arms. Bring your feet just slightly outside your hips. Bring your palms together. What we're going to do here, we're going to press one hand, palm up, one hand, palm down, and stretch. So it's time to stretch the gallbladder. At the side body, look up towards that top hand, and exhale back to center. And inhale, switch. So one hand palm up, connecting to the heavens, one hand palm down, connecting to the earth. And exhaling back to center. Again, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, stretch in both directions. Exhaling back to center. Breathing in. And out. One more each side. Maybe seeing a little bit further in the side stretch. Then coming back. One more, breathing in. And out. Fantastic. I'm going to come down onto the floor. I'm going to start off stretching the gallbladder meridian again. So visualize, so it's not running in a straight line, but just imagine trying to stretch the outer thigh. So we're going to come down onto the floor and starting off with the feet flat, resting the hands behind. Now just get a sense of your pelvis. You want your pelvis nice and level, nice and relaxed, both sit bones into the floor. Now we're going to take the right foot and you're going to place it on that left knee, and you're going to bring the hand back behind you. So we're stretching the outer thigh here. Now you're going to gently press and release that knee out. Now what often happens, and I'll exaggerate it a lot, is when we press that knee out, we twist the pelvis, especially if you do it by hand. We tend to press that knee out, go, oh, I'm getting a great stretch, but we end up twisting this. So we want to keep the pelvis still. So you're just going to press out using your inner thigh muscles and release a little bit. Keep the right foot flexed. So press it out, press it away from you, whilst anchoring down. It's kind of harder to twist the pelvis when we do the knee. When we do that, we tend to like not focus on what's happening here. But when we've got hands here, we can tend to focus more. So pressing that knee away. So it's like a seated pigeon pose, for those of you who know pigeon pose. And once you feel you can kind of do that without twisting the pelvis and without tensing, you can start to bring the chest closer, you can start to bring the foot closer. If you're struggling with that there, then just stay here and focus on pressing it away. So we want to feel a good stretch, but not tension. So you don't want to feel like you're gripping or you're tensing or you're holding your breath. So only move closer if you can breathe with ease and you can feel the stretch on the outer hips and glutes. Keep flexing that right foot. And bear in mind as well, it'll feel different on different days. You know, pigeon pose is often a Marmite pose. People either love it or hate it. And we usually hate it because we find it a struggle. So we want to make sure there's no strain on the knee. And so often I see people doing pigeon pose really badly and they shouldn't be doing it. You know, they're doing it because they can, but it's not doing them any favors whatsoever. So sometimes this version is actually better because there's I think it's harder to strain yourself in this position. Whereas when you do like full pigeon, people try, you know, they do things that they really shouldn't. It's not doing them any favors. So just a couple more breaths and you might be able to come a little bit closer. 4 deep breaths in and out. And again, keeping in mind where you want to be stretching. So we're still stretching here. 2 options. Watch first. Option 1, I can't really do this one, but option 1 is cow face pose. So you bring this left foot by your hip and you stack the knees one on top of the other. So the feet are here. That's called cow face pose, because if you were to look from above, these would be like the ears, and this is the nose. I can do it, but it feels like it's pinching my hips. It doesn't feel like a nice stretch. It feels like it's really pinching, and it's not, for me, I don't personally think it's doing me any favors. But some people can slip easily into this pose. If that's the case, do that one. If not, stretch that left leg out and come into half cow face. So bring that right foot beside your hip. Slide your fingers between your calf and your thigh to make a bit of space. So we're in like half cow pose. So this one I can do. I can still get a good stretch, but I don't feel like my hips are being kind of held in a pincer. And this is what I mean when I say don't do something just because you can. I can do the other variation, but I don't feel like it does me any real favors. So whichever version you're doing, if you're in this version, keep this left foot flexed. You're going to reach the right hand out to the side, left hand out to the side, and you're going to stretch that arm up and over. So we're trying to stretch the gallbladder on this side. So even if you're in cow pose here, you're still stretching over to the same side. Try and draw the top shoulder back so you're not got your hand in front of your arm, or you might be here somewhere, or you might wrap the hand around behind you and just turn your eye gaze up. So we're stretching down the side, waist. Remember, despite popular myth, most of us aren't hypermobile, and hypermobility is not always, it can be a curse. So, you might think, oh, so-and-so looks great, but it can be a curse. I'm certainly not hypermobile, and there are some benefits. You don't have to work quite so hard to get a stretch. Release, come up, gently undo your knees, whatever position you're in. Undo, and give that right knee some love. Stretch both legs out, and give the legs a bit of a shake out. Notice how that side of the body feels compared to the other side. And do the same on the other side. So bend the knees to start with. Again, get a sense of your pelvis being nice and level, nice and relaxed. When you've got that sense, bring the left foot onto the thigh. Again, if you need to move that foot further away, you can do. And just go gently, because just because it was all right on one side doesn't mean it's all right on this side. So again, press that knee out whilst keeping the pelvis still, so you're not twisting in the pelvis. Good, deep breaths in, lift your heart, breathe out, relax the shoulders. And maybe gradually bringing yourself closer, or bringing that shin closer to you. Make sure you put a nice stretch, but no strain. And when we're holding the breath, we're holding tension. So again, keep pressing the knee out, keep flexing the left foot to help protect the knee. And moving closer only if it feels okay to do so. Often one side feels okay and the other side doesn't. And again, either coming into full cow face with the feet, so the feet are on the side with that little ears, or stretch that left leg out. Bring the, right leg, can't give a right and left today. Bring the left knee on top, slide your fingers behind your calf to make a bit of space. So you've got one ear, one cow ear. Find your sit bones. Take that hand out to the side. Reach the other arm up, looking up towards the ceiling, or just looking to the side. Or again, you can wrap the arm around behind you, stretching out. But try not to draw that shoulder back. Full deep breaths in and out. Release. Gently undo your legs. Give that knee a little bit of love. Stretch the legs out, shake the legs out. And take the legs wide, 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 wide. Pull the butt cheeks back to tilt the pelvis forward. You can sit on a block or a cushion. Feel the stretch on the inside of the thigh into the liver meridian. Resting your hands on the legs. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just slide one hand towards that foot. It's stretching out the inner thigh, stretching out the sideways, inhaling up. Exhaling over the other side. Breathing in. It's also good for those lower back muscles that often get quite tight when we spend a lot of time sitting. So if you can't reach your foot, just hold on wherever you can reach. I'm going to go over to the right. I'm going to stay here. Hold on wherever you can. Take that left arm, wrap it around behind you. Either wrap it into your waist, or you might be able to wrap it into the inner thigh. If it feels okay to do so, turn and look up to that top shoulder. If that hurts your neck, then look towards your foot. We're trying to stretch out the side body and the inner thigh. So keep flexing those feet. As you breathe in, imagine lengthening from your tailbone to the crown of your head. As you breathe out, stretch a little bit further. Inhale, release, come up. Exhale, slide towards the other side. Wrap the other arm around. Again, either tuck it into your waistband or tuck it into your inner thigh. Either look up to that shoulder or look down to your foot. Inhale, lengthen from your tailbone to your crown. Exhale, stretch. Keep pressing both legs down into the floor. Again, stretching out those inner thighs. Releasing, coming up, release the arms, bring the legs in, and bring yourself into a sitting position. So that might mean being on a chair, that might mean being on a cushion. You might come into lotus, Ardha Siddhasana, cross leg position, whatever is best for you, that you can maintain a nice tall spine. And we're bringing our hands into Apana Mudra, which is for balance, harmony, and detoxification. So you're going to bring your thumb with your ring and middle finger. Thumb, ring, and little finger. So you've got your other two fingers extended. And really stretch those, I was about to say legs out, stretch those fingers out. Resting your hands, palms upwards on your lap. Stretch up through the crown of the head. And we're going to start off with 3 Brahmari breaths, humming bee breaths, so we can feel the vibration. It's quite apt for spring when we start to see the bees and the butterflies and that kind of thing. And you can play around with the pitch, you know, and the height, the intensity, whatever. Just feel the vibrations in your body. So we breathe in through the nose. Inhale. And just sitting quietly, eyes closed. Just noticing how you feel now compared to when we started. And so spring can often feel like the moment when butterflies break free from the chrysalis and we begin unfolding our wings. And having been through a dense and often dreary, emotionally and energetically restrictive time, we're beginning to expand. We start to feel filled with positivity and potential. As I said in the beginning, winter is a time for deep rest, reflection, nurturing. Spring is the time when we start to plan, start to clear out the clutter, and that includes in our own bodies. So we might start to feel more enthusiastic, have more energy for thinking about projects and that kind of thing. So it's really good to tap into our own nature, our own divine nature. It's when we go against nature that we tend to have issues. You know, when we live in a society where we're expected just to be on the go 24/7, 12 months of the year, and we're not designed that way. We're not designed that way. So if you're feeling sluggish over winter, which I have, don't beat yourself up over it. Hopefully you're starting to feel better now. And the more you tune in to your own body's needs, the better and easier it will be. You can bring your palms together, hands to heart, and we're finished with 3 Oms. Again, just feel the vibration through the body. Take a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands to your third eye, to your throat, to your heart. Take a little bow to seal your practice. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any questions, any comments? Please let me know.